Because of a dish of boiled fish, my 7-year boyfriend Evans broke up with me. He said, "Coco, you're just like this dish, I'm tired of you." I cried, cursed, and became hysterical. 15 days after the breakup, by some strange twist of fate, I ended up at his wedding. Looking at the glaring picture of the newlyweds at the wedding, I tugged at my lips, my smile a little stiff. The groom, Evans, the man I had spent 7 years with. Just half a month ago, he was in my bed, and today, he's dressed in a suit marrying someone else. Coco? The bride Mia noticed me immediately as she was giving a toast. Evans squeezed her hand and the two of them made their way through the crowd toward me. Mia's extravagant wedding dress shimmered under the chandelier. My gaze was fixed on her slightly rounded belly, and my heart felt like it was being pierced by a needle. "Get out." Evans furrowed his brows, his voice as cold as ice. Before I came here, I had imagined countless possibilities, even wondering if he might leave everything behind and run away with me. But I never thought of this one, that he had already betrayed me. Mia seemed to intentionally rub salt into my wounds as she gently caressed her stomach, whispering, "It's been over 4 months." The timeline matched up. It was from that time on that Evans began reading parenting books, and even changed his phone wallpaper to a cute baby picture. I foolishly thought he was planning our future, secretly buying folic acid ... But in reality he was going to be a father, just not with me. "We're sorry," Mia continued, her tone tinged with a sense of victorious sympathy, "but he hasn't had feelings for you for a long time. Coco, I couldn't compete with you in school, but I don't want to compete anymore. Please stop disturbing us, don't interfere with our marriage, okay?" Evans didn't look at me at all. He carefully reached out to support his new wife's waist, afraid that she might be tired. Around us, familiar faces, our college classmates were whispering and pointing. At that moment, I felt like a clown humiliating myself. I bit my lip hard, forcing the tears back, trying to make my voice sound calm as I stared at the face I once loved. "When did this start?" Evans didn't answer, but instead he stepped aside to shield Mia more thoroughly. He was always like that, unconditionally protective of the one he cared for. It used to be me, now it was her. This year? Or last year? It must have been this year. You and her ... "Enough, Coco!" Evans lowered his voice, filled with impatience. "It's all my fault. Don't blame Mia. This is how things are. So why are you humiliating yourself?" "Humiliate myself." He sure knew how to stop me in my tracks with just a few words, leaving me with nothing but shame. I lowered my head and finally the tears fell, soaking into the carpet beneath me. I nodded, my voice hoarse. "You're right. For a jerk like him, it wasn't worth it. Congratulations on your wedding. I wish you ... happiness." With that, I shoved him aside and stormed out of the hotel. The cold wind of the winter night felt like a knife, cutting through my damp face. In the month before the breakup, Evans made boiled fish for every meal. I loved spicy food, but my cooking skills were terrible, so he always made it. After a while, I couldn't help but complain. "How come it's boiled fish again?" Without even lifting his head, he replied, "Even the best dish gets tiring when you eat it every day. Coco, people's hearts change. Let's break up." People's hearts change. 7 years, and I couldn't escape it. When I returned home, I turned on the light. This old district apartment, a 2-bedroom, 1-living room place, was where we lived right after graduation. The mortgage was paid by him, and our names were on the deed. He said he would move out after the breakup, and I never came back. A few days ago, he called suddenly, saying he wanted to come back and talk. I pretended to be strong, but deep down I was anxious, so I took a leave and rushed home. The door was open and movers were coming in and out. Evans was standing in the living room, smoking, speaking softly on the phone. "Wait for me." His tone was gentler than I had ever heard. After hanging up, he looked at me with the cold gaze of a stranger. "Sell the house." It was then that I finally understood. He was serious. He really didn't want me anymore. "I won't sell. The mortgage is a burden, I'll pay for it." I had just started at the law firm, but my salary was enough. He scoffed, "Unrealistic. You're always living in a dream." I snapped, "Is it about money?" "The pressure. My mom never asked for a dowry. I have savings. Can't we overcome anything together? I'll change my temper." By the end, I clung to him, crying hysterically, "Don't leave, don't abandon me ... In the past, when I cried, he couldn't bear it. This time, he let me cry for a long time, before coldly prying my hands away. Because I'm tired of it. Before I could react, he nodded to the movers who had finished packing and pulled out a red book from his pocket, casually shattering all my hopes. "Coco, I'm already married." I couldn't say a word. My heart felt like it had been thrown into a pot of hot oil, sizzling and burning into ashes. Evans, how ruthless. No room for compromise. When did it start? His phone became attached to him, even in the shower. He would wake up at night whenever he received a message. I noticed and had confronted him before. Who is it? I exploded after catching him in the hallway, pretending to smoke while chatting on the phone. It's Mia, isn't it? I didn't need to check. I could recognize that voice. Mia, the classmate who had confessed her feelings to him in college. What do you have to talk about with her? Constant phone calls and messages? I lunged for his phone, but he easily dodged me, wrapping his arm around my waist and pulling me into the room. She's just a classmate, asking for my help. It's hard to refuse. Coco, understand. I trusted him after all these years, and for that moment, I believed him. But deep down, something pricked at me. A woman's intuition is terrifyingly accurate. It didn't take long before he and Mia were married. After Evans left, I ran back to my parents' home. Our families used to be neighbors, and his father passed away early. He had always been the considerate and diligent son. My parents were so angry that they wanted to confront him. But when my father came back, he just sighed and shook his head. Let it go, daughter. Let's find someone better. That night, I stayed awake until morning. The next day, on my way home from work, my phone rang. It was Evan's only message after the breakup. Coco, forget about me. I held the phone, typed and deleted, finally replying with a single word. Okay. The phone slipped from my hand, and I squatted on the ground, feeling like a fool. Breaking up was one thing, but the suffocation with no outlet for venting was another. He had already moved on, and I couldn't even curse him out for being a bastard. I wandered aimlessly and fell sick for 2 weeks. Watching my parents busy in the kitchen with worried backs, I finally gritted my teeth and got up. I rented a small apartment near the office, desperately trying to get my life back on track. I blocked all messages related to Evans. No inquiries, no spying, and I tried not to think about him. But it felt like a habit carved into my bones. Quitting was impossible. I discussed with my parents, balancing work while preparing for my PhD entrance exam. I had to keep myself busy until I collapsed into bed at night to avoid insomnia. I lived like this for half a year. One day during lunch break, my colleagues were passing around wedding candy. Lawyer Jiang from the partner law firm had just had a baby. When I opened the door, the office's cheerful chatter suddenly quieted down. I randomly picked a piece of candy and popped it in my mouth. It was bitter. After sitting down to touch up my makeup, a colleague came over. Got a blind date tonight? I lazily leaned on the desk. Yeah, getting old. My family's urging me. 26 isn't old. That evening, I arrived right on time at the restaurant. As soon as I entered, someone waved at me. When I saw who it was, I froze. Didn't expect it, huh? I'm your blind date. Jack sat across from me in a suit. No longer the handsome boy showing off on the basketball court. Now, he was mature and steady, exuding the air of a workplace elite. The guy my mom had introduced was Jack. He and Evans used to be basketball teammates. Didn't expect it at all, I said, sitting down calmly. Small world. This meal's on me, and after we eat, let's delete each other, okay? Jack smiled. Straightforward. Thanks. I didn't compliment you. I rolled my eyes at him. I'm very satisfied with you. Jack stopped smiling, his eyes serious. I feel like we'd be a great match. Want to give it a try? I didn't want to have anything to do with Evan's friends. No. Because I know your ex? Jack cut straight to the point, his gaze gentle but firm. That's not the point. The point is, Coco, I've always had a crush on you. I'm serious, I want to date you. No one had ever confessed like that before. I refused him decisively. After dinner, I paid the bill and blocked him right in front of him. Jack didn't get mad. He patted my head. Let's see how I win you over. From that day on, Jack really started his win-over plan. First, he won over my parents. Then he brought a stack of study materials and showed up every day to study with me. The last time I worked this hard was when I was preparing for my postgraduate exam. Back then, Evans was the one who kept me company. The following year, I passed the initial and final exams and got into the PhD program at the University of Political Science and Law. When I received the acceptance letter, Jack was even more excited than me, spinning me around in celebration. It was also that day that we officially got together. Jack took me straight to a jewelry store, picked out a diamond ring and slipped it onto my finger. Consider this an engagement. Also a promise. Coco, I want to spend my life with you. A lifetime. Could I believe such words? I looked at him, smiling, yet my eyes quietly reddened. Evans never contacted me again, and I never went looking for him. I froze. In my sophomore year, a senior I had rejected, angry and humiliated, assaulted me. It was Evans who risked his life to protect me, suffering a head injury in the process. Why bring this up after all these years? Mia pointed at me, her voice trembling with hatred. Coco. Evans. He's dying because of what happened that day. He can't be saved. If you have any conscience at all, you should go and see him for the last time. I don't even need to ask. My head rang, everything spinning. What does it mean? That he's dying because of saving me. I couldn't hear anything else Mia said clearly. All I wanted was to escape that suffocating place. Regaining some composure, I saw Jack walking toward me with hot drinks in his hands. I hooked my arm around his and a smile returned to my face. Forget about the flight. I'm not going anywhere. I'll go to Shisha with you. Exes are a thing of the past. The present and future are what matter most. The Shisha Islands were as beautiful as paradise, and we had a great time. Halfway through our honeymoon, that night while I was researching travel tips, Jack sat beside me. You're not happy. His tone was certain. I'm fine. I denied it. You can't fool me. Jack looked into my eyes. While we were playing, your smile was forced. He knew me too well. I stopped pretending. Jack immediately canceled the rest of the trip and dragged me to the airport. On the way, he held my hand tightly, his voice low but serious. Coco, I'm only this generous this once. As soon as we landed, Mia appeared like a ghost. She shoved her phone in front of me, clutching my collar, her anger and despair palpable. Look at how much he still cares about you. You still don't want to go. Coco, is your heart made of stone? Who did he fight for in college? Who did he get hurt for? You owe him a life. How can you be so heartless? I silently took the phone. Inside were clips of secretly filmed videos, blurry images, but the words cut like a knife. Coco, you're so stubborn. I have to make her forget me. Otherwise, this silly girl really might die for me. You believe me? She's sick again. How much weight has she lost? I'm such an asshole. My silly girl. She's killing me. In the videos, Evans was covering his eyes. That was the first time I saw him cry after his father passed away, 5 years ago, when he told me he was tired and broke up with me. Mia forced me to recall that incident. Evans fought for me for the first time, taking on 7 or 8 people to protect me. If it weren't for me, he wouldn't have gotten such severe injuries. The hidden danger in the back of his head started right there. I still remembered when Evans rushed into the crowd, picked me up, his eyes fierce like a wolf protecting its cubs. He kept me behind him, taking all those punches. Despite being injured the most, he insisted the doctors treat me first. At that time, he was my hero. But I never imagined this would become his reason for pushing me away. Did you ever care about him? Mia screamed. Did you ever care about him? After he healed, he had constant headaches. Did you notice? Your thesis, your internship, which one was more important than him? He went to the hospital alone, repeatedly hearing the doctors say his condition was fatal. What was he feeling? Since childhood, you've always taken his kindness for granted. What have you ever given him? Mia cried out in agony. She said she met Evans in the hospital. At that time, she had been deceived by a jerk and got pregnant. Seeing Evans' medical records, she proposed a fake marriage. He would give the child a name, and she would help him pretend, let me give up. Why didn't he say anything? Mia choked. He didn't want to burden you. Coco, did you ever love him? Has your love for him ever been half of what he gave you? It turns out, that wedding was a play they had been acting for 5 years. Looking at the broken Mia, my mind went blank, my nails digging deep into my palm. In a daze, I seemed to push her hand away, my voice as cold as ice. Let him die. I'm not going. Those words were harsh, just like how Evans had been to me. Jack immediately pulled me into his arms, coldly speaking to Mia. Miss, please don't disturb us anymore. I buried my face in his warm chest. Let's go home. I just want to go home. Mia, still unwilling to give up, lunged at me and grabbed my hand, her voice trembling uncontrollably. You can't be so heartless. He loves you so much. Just take a look at him. Just one look at the video. He's about to... She scrambled to get her phone out. The tension in my mind snapped. Just as she was about to dial, I grabbed the phone and slammed it hard on the ground. Without hesitation, I slapped her across the face. Mia was stunned, her crying abruptly stopping, her hand covering her face in disbelief as she stared at me. Coco. The pent up emotions exploded. I ignored the surrounding gazes and pointed at her sharply. Mia! If you really cared about him, you wouldn't have come up with that fake marriage idea. If you truly cared, you had countless opportunities over the past 5 years to tell me the truth. It was your greed for his kindness and company that stopped you from letting go. Now, I want to forget him and start over. He's about to die and you come here to fulfill his last wish. But do you know Evans? Such a proud man, Didn't want me to see him in such a pathetic state before he died. If you really cared about him, you would have kept this secret for him. Let him go in peace. Mia, you shouldn't have come to find me. You've done all the selfish things, and you still can't admit it. My words were like a sharp knife, tearing apart Mia's last disguise. She was speechless, crouching on the ground, covering her face, stifling her sobs. I couldn't be bothered to look at her again. I grabbed my luggage and left without looking back. I didn't want anything to do with Evans anymore. In the taxi, exhaustion made me fall into a deep sleep. In my dream, Evans stood in the misty light, smiling and waving at me, just like when we were younger. Coco, I'm leaving. I wanted to call out to him, to run after him, but I couldn't move. I could only watch his figure fade away. When I woke up, my face was wet with tears. At that moment, I felt it so clearly. He was gone. Forever. He was a year older than me, and his life was forever frozen at the age of 31. Later, I heard that he had divided his inheritance in advance. One part for his mother, one part for Mia. The rest of the money had been given to my father. He advised my mother to remarry, to have someone to rely on, and didn't want Mia to suffer from wasted youth because of him. I listened expressionlessly, my heart shrouded in a thick layer of gray, numb, and devoid of feeling. My father handed me a cup of hot tea, sighed, and said, "Do you remember when you two broke up, I went to find him? He gave me a card. It was his savings. He didn't want me to tell you, just told me to keep it for you. He said, if your future husband treats you well, this money will be a blessing. If he treats you badly, this will be your backup." My father took a deep drag of his cigarette, his eyes reddening. "I knew that kid had feelings for you. I said I'd keep it for him, and whenever he wanted it back." That wait turned into an eternal goodbye. I didn't go to Evan's cremation. Our past had already ended 5 years ago, the moment he said tired and broke up with me. They say a good ex should be as quiet as if they were dead. He did it. And so did I. Mia later sent me a long message, full of guilt and apologies. In the end, she said, "I envy you. He wanted to die secretly, letting you have happiness. Why? Why are you able to be at peace? So I violated his wishes to find you. Do you think he will forgive me, wherever he is?" "No." I replied coldly with 2 words, not wanting to be entangled any longer. Mia said she had moved out and left the city. Before leaving, she left a key and suggested I go check out Evan's rental apartment. After much hesitation, I finally went. Jack accompanied me. The room was exceptionally tidy, just like he was, meticulous. Mia had said that when he moved in, he brought everything that was related to me. He had asked her to burn it all once he was gone. He didn't want any reminders, afraid I wouldn't get over it. Mia was jealous. The fake marriage had turned into real feelings. She fell for him. That's why she went against his will. On the bed, a lonely old panda toy lay there. This was originally a pair. Mine had been thrown away when we broke up, but his stayed with him until his life ended. I picked up the panda, and my chest felt like it had been hit with a blunt object. The suppressed tears finally broke free. In a daze, I remembered a long time ago. I had looked into his eyes and said, word by word, "I hold grudges. No matter the reason, once you let go, I'll never want you again." Evans, in the end, we never had the fate. Before leaving that day, I told Jack, I want to see him. Just once. After that, I won't go again. Years later, when I saw Evans again, it was in front of a cold tombstone. He was still young and handsome in the photo. Such a strong and tall person, but now trapped in a small space. I looked at him, my eyes stinging, but no tears came. The sky was gloomy and light rain began to fall. The rain didn't touch me. A parasol was opened above my head. "Coco, Coco." The familiar voice in my memory overlapped with reality, and it hurt so much that I didn't dare to look back. "We should go home now." Jack's voice came from behind me. Life after marriage was calm and warm, just from one person to 2. I still wasn't good at cooking, and the kitchen was Jack's territory. That day he picked me up from work and said we'd skip cooking and eat out. When the waiter brought a bowl of bright red, glistening water, boiled fish, I froze. My absent-mindedness didn't escape Jack's notice. He reached across the table and held my hand, smiling warmly and indulgently. "I know you love spicy food. Coco, from now on you'll always have me." His words made me feel that maybe my parents had told him everything. In his affectionate, smiling gaze, I finally smiled back, nodding. "Okay. I'll follow your lead, hubby." The smile in Jack's eyes instantly became so tender that it melted me. In the long journey of life, we often encounter pain and reluctance. Just when we think we are strong enough to face everything, life unexpectedly delivers a heavy blow. Love and betrayal, persistence and letting go, these emotional struggles are challenges we cannot avoid. In love, each of us is like a moth, always burning our wings in pursuit of that fleeting light. But gradually we come to realize that not every love is worth sacrificing ourselves for. The people and events that once caused us pain often become catalysts for our growth and self-awareness. After the pain, we understand. True liberation is not escape, but the courage to stand up, let go of the past, and start anew. The love and hate of the past gradually fade with the passage of time. What truly matters is not how others treat us, but how we treat ourselves. In the face of pain, we can choose to let go of past attachments, of emotions we cannot control, and embrace the new version of ourselves. Perhaps this is what life is all about, a process of self-healing. Everyone's story is unique. No matter how desperate the past, today we still have limitless possibilities. The best time is yet to come, and may we all, after the storm, welcome our own rainbow.